Hopefully you guys know who Faiz Shakir is. He is Bernie Sanders' campaign manager, and he goes on MSNBC's Chris Matthews show, Hardball. Chris Matthews, as you guys know, not a Bernie Sanders fan. In fact, he's clearly not in very good mental health, but he is having complete breakdowns left and right over and over again about Bernie Sanders, calling him a socialist, basically being on the verge of tears, saying that Bernie's going to assassinate him. I mean, he's really just going, through the roof on this one. But Faiz Shakir absolutely just rocks this guy. Let's check this out.
Your candidate has basically called Pete Buttigieg the candidate of billionaires. He said he's the leader in getting money from the billionaires. And then he said, quoting Woody Guthrie, what side are you on? The theme of his talk this morning at the Institute of Politics at St. Albans was about what side are you on? And is he putting himself on one side and Pete Buttigieg on the other? Explain.
For sure. You and I were both there this morning, Chris Matthews, and we saw the case that Bernie Sanders made, and the choice is clear for voters. Do you want a candidate who kowtows to the billionaire class, or do you want a candidate who fights for the working class? And in Pete Buttigieg, you have somebody who's received donations from over 40 billionaires, who kowtows to corporate executives, who receives money from big drug companies and big healthcare companies. And why does that matter? Because at the end of the day, he fights for policies that reward those companies. He's not going to take them on. He doesn't now fight for Medicare for all. At one point in time, he used to be for Medicare for all. He's since backed away from that. Bernie Sanders, clear flag planted in the sand, has been where he's always been, fighting for the working class, saying, I will fight for Medicare for all when I'm in the Oval Office.
Has he been bought? Is he in the tank? Is that what your candidate is saying? He's in the tank? Rather than using a Chinese word, let's use American words. Is he in the tank?
Well, Chris, you and I both know that the political system is corrupt. It's rigged. Billionaires have a lot of influence over it. Big money has influence over it. It's no surprise to any of the people watching this show. And the question is, are you willing to take them on? And if so, how? Tell me how you're going to take them on. Well, one way we know you aren't going to take them on is when you take their money. And when you take their super PAC money and you sit in closed-door rooms and tell them, yeah, you can have special access to me. That's not what Bernie Sanders does. It's not what he's ever done. And so if you're looking for someone who has the credibility to go up against Donald Trump and say, here's a guy who's a fraud, who said he was going to fight for the working class, who sold you out, who betrayed you. Now I'm somebody who you can believe in, and that's Bernie Sanders.
Are people who want to vote for Pete for all kinds of reasons, are they corrupt?
No, not at all. I think there's a lot of things that people take into consideration about when and why they vote for certain candidates. And our job, Chris, and you appreciate this, as a campaign needs to make the choices clear.
Just absolutely thoroughly demolished. I mean, he just got thoroughly demolished there, especially because, he really had this narrative that he was trying to play against and trying to get him to do. But Faiz just came in straight up strapped. And I like the point that he brought up. A lot of people don't bring this up. They don't bring up the point that Mayor Pete Buttigieg, like a year or two ago, or a year and a half, somewhere around there, a year to 2 years ago, he endorsed Medicare for all and said that he was in favor of Medicare for all. But now, all of a sudden, he's not for Medicare for all anymore. It also coincided with him taking a lot of money from big pharma, health insurance companies as well. And so people need to start bringing that up more and asking questions about that because, it's a very important thing. Obviously, corporate influence is massive. It's huge. It's a very big issue for people as well. So that's very crucial. And that final question there from Chris Matthews was a pretty lame one and a pretty embarrassing one, to be quite frank with you. I mean, come on now. What does he say? Are his voters corrupt? What a stupid question that is, man. What a really stupid question. And he was clearly, I don't think that was a planned question. I just can't assume that that's the case. I really can't. Because if it was a planned question, I mean, he certainly did not plan a good question. But really, really great job here from Faiz Shakir. And also, Chris Matthews, like I said, having complete meltdowns left and right about Bernie Sanders. He's losing his mind. He thinks he's a straight up like Maduro type or like a Stalin or something like that, which is hilarious. But great job to Faiz, man.